All right, so Resident Evil 4 remake. So this is an article I came over here. I came across on Eurogamer. So Capcom's Resident Evil mobile port now requires internet connection to play. Frustrated players seek refund. So we'll just go over this really quick. So the Resident Evil port on mobile is now required an internet connection to play, prompting players to refuse the latest update or even seek refunds. As shared on the iOS gaming subreddit, the latest update for the Capcom for Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 4, and Resident Evil Village states, due to changes on the startup process, an internet connection is now required when starting this app. It's unclear exactly why this internet connection is needed, though players are speculating it could be for the DRM checks or simply data collection. Now, I'm just gonna before I finish, I just want to say I mean, I kind of understand in the sense that it's like, oh, they want to collect data just to kind of get more information for the game to try to make it better. But at the same time, it's one of those things. It's like our fucking data gets taken all the time. You know what I mean? The last thing we need is another, program or whatnot to collect our people's data and to like send it to into the void. You know what I mean? Into thousands of other things that people get their information sent to. So, I mean, I think it's kind of ridiculous. It's not quite necessary, especially because it is one of those things. I'm sure if there are players that really do want the game to improve, they'll have no issues like letting the people that created the mobile version know, hey, there's issues with this, there's issues with that. Can you guys fix this kind of a thing? So the fact that they're trying to make it so that you have to have an internet connection, especially if it's a mobile game, personally, I think that's kind of stupid. So. And then Eurogamer has contacted Capcom for clarification. Arguably, one of the benefits of mobile games is being able to play anywhere, but that's somehow negated by the need for an internet connection, even if it's on startup. See, exactly. So it is one of those things. Like the whole point of playing a mobile game is to be able to be like, hey, I can just take my phone out, turn it on, and start playing it. You know what I mean? As opposed to like, oh, I need an internet connection and be able to actually start the game up. And that's even, that is kind of one of the things that is stupid as well, is the fact that if there is an internet connection that's needed, oh, it's just because we need it for the startup only. The rest of the game you can play offline and it'll be no problem. It's a little bit ridiculous. So I could definitely see where fans are coming from in that regard. And then responding to the Reddit post, many players will now seek a refund, though they fear there won't be any significant backlash due to the low sales of the game. Yeah, so pretty much the game wasn't even really selling, so there's a possibility they might, fix it. It might change this, but there's a possibility they're just gonna be like, whatever. Not too many people play anyways. At this time, Resident Evil 7 has estimated has been bought by fewer than 2,000 people since its launch earlier that month, following the low sales of Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil Village. It also followed by the low sales of Assassin's Creed Mirage and Death Stranding on mobile. Foundation, Resident Evil 4 works on Resident Evil the least good enough that Resident Evil 4 is at least good enough that I think it makes for a reasonable mobile experience as long as you keep the hopes in check. You'll have the tolerate substantial performance issues and sometimes a messy image, but there's still Resident Evil 4 on the go and it looks decent and doesn't crash. It just lacks performance and visual consistency that a lot of players expect. So I'm gonna go over this really quick. This video that I had seen because when I was kind of reading the article, I had noticed this, and so Digital Foundry. So that's the individual that made it. So we're not gonna go into like the video itself, but one thing that I did kind of want to go over was the side by side that they have here. When you're comparing the iPhone to the PS4, and yeah, I mean, you can definitely see some of the textural issues, and the performance isn't as great, especially right there. But at the end of the day, it's a fucking PS4/PS5 game that's being put on an iPhone. You know, Regardless of how it may look with like some of the textural issues or performance issues, it's a fucking modern game on a modern cell phone. That's not normal. Look at that. And especially considering the fact that like when you're playing it on your phone, you're not going to have a huge screen like you would like a TV, like a 70-inch or 50-inch, like 50 to 70-inch TV, like around that range. It's going to be a little screen. So these textural issues that you're seeing right here, it might be noticeable, but it's probably not like that noticeable that it kind of breaks the game for you. So I think that's insane. The fact that they were able to even get it to that type of level. Because when you think about it, if they're able to get Resident Evil 4 remake on the iPhone, you know damn well they can put Resident Evil original on the iPhone with no problem. with like with the software that was used at the time, you know. So look at that. I think that's wild. Like just the color is a little bit different, and then there's a little bit again more graininess, but for it being a mobile game like that, I think that's very impressive, and I think it's just really cool because it kind of just shows where we are like technologically and how much we've advanced. Because if you were to even show people like when the original Resident Evil came out, Resident Evil 4, sorry, and you showed them like, oh, this is what it's gonna look like on a phone, I'm sure people would be like, what the fuck? Like that looks amazing. So yeah, yeah, it's crazy. But anyways, so yeah, those are my thoughts on that. I just want to give that information. Just go over this article a little bit, just because I, love Resident Evil franchise, and Resident Evil the original is one of my favorite games of all time. So yeah, I just want to go over that with you guys, and yeah, until next time, harmonic out. Later, guys. Peace.